A client of mine, who's a coach, said something in a recent session that actually made me pause for a sec and laugh a little bit, because we were talking about imposter syndrome, the way that coaches tend to do, and usually about their clients. But then she said, coaches get imposter syndrome too, don't they? And I said, yeah, I get it myself. And she looked at me and she said, really? She was genuinely surprised. Like, it had never occurred to her that I might get my own version of imposter syndrome. I said to her, yeah, of course. Well, I am a human being after all. And that little moment right there was really interesting to me, and I wanted to do a video about it because she assumed that at some point you get so good or good enough that the doubt and the fear all just goes away. It does not. And I wanted to talk about why that's actually quite good and it's not a bad thing. Quietly, what a lot of coaches, especially experienced coaches, tend to do is they wait. Waiting to feel like they're the real thing, the real deal. Like, you've been coaching for years already and you've already got results with clients, people are paying you or have paid you before. You get referrals come through to you, clients might even come back to you. But there's still a version of you in your head that you're trying to become before you get yourself really out there. It's that version that has no doubt. The one who sits down to write a post and opens up the laptop but doesn't feel like a fraud first for at least a second or two. The one who's got it all figured out. And because you haven't become that person yet, you hold back. You don't put that video out or that post out, or you soften the offer with a potential client. You wait to feel ready before you actually reach out. This is when you're running your business at around 60%, 70%, keeping the other 30% in reserve, waiting for when you feel legitimate. And you know what the quiet tragedy of it all is? You think the doubt is a sign that you're not quite ready yet. So you treat that feeling like it's a stop sign, but it was never a stop sign. It's just a feeling. And so you wait and you wait for this mystical, amazing person to arrive. But look, that's not going to help you because it starts to cost you the obvious one, which is years, time. This is when you're putting things off before you actually feel ready. This is when that ready never really comes. So the things that you put off, they stay off. The content that you did not make, the offer that you didn't put on the table with a potential client, the people that you did not reach out to, all of it postponed, all of it paused, and just waiting on that feeling that was never really going to show up. But the deeper cost here is what that waiting does to the relationship with the doubt itself. Every time that you feel the imposter thing and you read it as proof that you're not good enough, it makes it significantly heavier and harder to carry. You're not just feeling the doubt anymore, you're feeling the doubt plus the shame of having the doubt to begin with. Now you've got two problems, where previously there was just one. And this is when it becomes a loop. So you feel like a fraud, so you hold back. So you build less evidence that you are good, so you feel more like a fraud. Do you see? The waiting doesn't protect you from the feeling, you're actually feeding it. And the cruel part with this is, and I don't use the word cruel lightly, is that the coaches who feel this the most, right? They're usually the good ones, because caring whether you're good enough or not is not what frauds do. It's what people who take the work seriously do. So as a coach, we're good at serving our clients. One of our skills and specialties is to help our clients overcome their challenges. And the imposter syndrome is a big one. And look, everyone has it in some degree or another, so we know that we can serve our clients well with it. But when it comes to ourselves, we need to make a shift, and it needs to be a big one. The goal was never to stop feeling like an imposter. And that's always the wrong target. It's the wrong target the whole time. I still feel it. I mean, I coach people for a living. I've done this for many years. I work with a number of clients, and I still get that flicker of doubt, that insecurity before I put myself out there. I got it just before I was recording this video. The difference isn't that the feeling left and has gone away. The difference is what you do when it shows up. It used to be a stop sign, but now it's just weather. It arrives, I noticed it, yep, it's there, okay, cool, yep, I get that insecurity, yep, I feel it, but I just keep doing the thing anyway. And that's the entire skill right there. Not removing the feeling, but removing the feeling's authority it has over you. Something that made it really click for me is a beautiful reframe which I want to give you. When you feel like an imposter, you're not detecting a fact about your ability or anything like that. You're simply detecting that you care, that you give a shit, and that you're doing something that matters to you, that's meaningful. You'll never feel like a fraud about the things that you don't care about. That imposter syndrome feeling that you'll feel as a coach, that's not a verdict, it's just a receipt. It's just proof that you're in the arena of something that counts. So the move is no longer about arguing with it or waiting it out. It's to change what that feeling means to you as a coach. From, I'm not ready, to, this matters a lot to me. And I'm a human being doing something hard that's pushing me outside of my comfort zone. Of course I'm going to feel this. Then you just go on and do the thing while you're still feeling it. And that's the practice right there. And there's no version of it where you magically graduate from being a human being. The coach with no doubt that you're waiting to become, the one who has it all figured out, that coach doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for me. It doesn't exist in the coaches that I work with. It doesn't exist in the coaches that you might be looking up to and following. It exists for none of them. They just stop waiting for that feeling to go away and leave before they actually moved. The good news is this is not years of inner work that we're talking about, that you have to go deep and figure it all out. It's available right now, or at least the very next time that feeling shows up, that imposter syndrome shows up before a client session, before creating content. It's not a healing process we're talking about here. Maybe there's some healing work that you need to do, but this is a decision about what you let that feeling mean. The next time you go to post something and you feel that little pull of, not yet, not good enough, who am I to say this? You'll recognize it. That's the receipt right there. That's the caring. Then you post it anyway. Now, you probably won't feel more confident in that very moment, and that right there is the point. You're doing it while the doubt is still there. Do it a few times, and then something shifts. Not the feeling, because it's probably going to come back again at some stage, but your relationship to the feeling. It stops being the thing that's running the show, and it becomes the background noise to what you've learned to work through. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a little bit raw with you now, because as I said before, imposter syndrome is something that I still struggle with. I can distract myself when I know things are getting tough, and I have my own doubts, I have my own fears, and these come to the surface quite a lot, and sometimes they come to the surface so much that I pause everything that I'm doing, or I distract myself with something else. At the recording of this video, I've got a webinar coming up, and it's my very first webinar that I'm putting together in my own business. And so I've noticed that I am pausing on a few things, because as the day gets closer to when I'm actually going to be performing the webinar and putting it out there, I've got my own fears and thinking about it. Well, what if no one shows up? And what if only one person shows up? Or what if I bomb? And all these fears coming to the surface. But regardless of all that, I've completed the landing pages. I've set up my back-end automation, and the date's getting closer. And as worried as I am, I'm also quite excited at the same time. So I'm not coming from a place where I've got all this figured out. I don't feel any of this. I'm literally right there with you. If you're feeling this imposter syndrome, look, I do it all the time. I do it every time. I have imposter syndrome every time I'm recording a video, anytime I'm putting content out there. It's always coming to the surface. But what's more important to me is sharing my message. What's more important to me is coaching and doing the work that I love to do and serving my clients powerfully. The more I can do this type of work, the less that imposter syndrome comes to the surface. The only time it really comes to the surface in a powerful way is when I'm doing something new, like putting all the webinar together, or when I launch group coaching in the near future. All these things are just going to push me outside of my comfort zone. But it's important that I do these things. This is part of my long-term goal, part of my mission to serve as many coaches as I can. And because it matters to me, that's what moves me through the imposter syndrome, kicking and screaming. So with that, here's what I want you to do. It's very small, and it's small on purpose because I wanted to give you something that you can use right now. Think of one thing right now that you've been putting off until you feel ready. Don't kid yourself that you don't. You know exactly what it is. It might be the post, putting an offer on the table, sending a message, doing a video. You know what it is, and just go and do that thing today. While you still don't feel ready, while you've got a head full of all the reasons why not to do it, while you don't know what's going to come of it or if it's even going to land. That's the whole practice right there in a single repetition, because you're not waiting for that feeling to just disappear and go away. You're proving to yourself that you don't have to wait. Now, if you notice that you generally cannot make yourself do it for whatever reason, that the doubt or that imposter syndrome has got a stronger grip on you than the reframe that I gave you before, that's what we need to look at properly. Because sometimes that imposter syndrome feeling is pointed towards something real that needs some actual work done. And so if you'd like some help with that, then there is a link in the description of this video. We can book a call and we'll just have an initial chat. No expectation afterwards. We could talk about what the feeling is, what's it stopping you from doing, and what you want instead, and what needs to change. So if that's something of interest to you, like I said, the link is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video and it served you in some way, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification. If you've got any specific questions or challenges, leave a comment below. I always watch the comments and I always answer any questions which come up. And if you know another coach that you think this might help, please share the video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And it also lets YouTube know that there's people out there that enjoy watching my stuff. And ideally share it with more people. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.